Man, I'm getting sharp. Weight's coming down. We're a little closer to fighting weight again. You know, we always tell everyone at the gym, we go, you go out drinking, that takes 2 weeks off. And it's Tuesday, and I'm just about back down to the weight I was at before I went out drinking that Saturday. So 2 weeks is about spot on. But we're getting back there again. It was a fun day. I came home. I made myself a pizza, which is what you do after a good workout, is you make a frozen pizza full of sodium and fat and dairy and all that. Right? That's what you do. And then I found out that I really stirred up some shit at the end of today's show, and I so didn't mean to. I didn't think people would care, but something happened during the morning show today that threw me for a loop, and I couldn't help but react to it how I reacted to it. I watched the clip back, and I'm like, you see my eyes hit it, and it, you know, kind of takes me back, and everybody wanted to theorize, and then I'm reading, people are saying, say this and say that, and blah, 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 blah. I just want to kill all the speculation, and I want to kill all the what ifs. I don't want to seem like a tease or anything like that. I just didn't know how to respond to it other than moving on this morning. Let me say this. Could be real. Could not be real. Could be false. But at the same time, if it's the real person or if it's the fake person, I'm not responding. For a few different reasons. The number one obvious one is, how do you know? I didn't click in and see where it came from or check emails. I find that kind of invasive and creepy. So it could be a fake. Also, if it is who it might have been, I don't really see the benefit in going down that road. So let's not. Things are good over here. And then also, I never said who it was. So there's that. Look, you know what I know, and what I know is that that's as far as it's going to go for me. I don't mind speculation. I don't mind people making their theories or anything else. So, no, I'm not going to be responding to that PayPal. I'm not going to be responding to any of that stuff. We'll just let that be what it is. If that was someone just being nice, thanks. If that was someone reaching out, I respectfully refuse. Thank you. Did you guys see the news today that Cumia's contract for ABC Radio came out? I mean, great deal. $150,000 a year is what I read it on Twitter. It's got to be true, right? $150,000 a year to do a weekly 2-hour show for ABC Radio. I mean, that's pretty good, right? That's is my math right? 12? Is it $1,200 an hour or $1,200 a show? I'm not sure, but either way, Cumia doing 2 hours of talk radio on AM 770 ABC Radio, and I think they started syndicating him across the ABC radio network, so that definitely plays a part in the whole thing. Kind of sucks if you're the Compound Media people, because Anthony was putting about $50,000 to $100,000 a year into Compound. In a weird way, you could have kept all those people employed and kept them all aboard with just your radio show money. Ugh. But who wants to do that, right? Let him, he's in his 60s, his early to mid 60s now. Let him enjoy his money. Got a little, nothing like an extra $150,000 lying around, right? I mean, between him and Gavin having a skeleton crew at Compound Censored, they both got to be doing okay. Then you throw another $150,000 on top of it. Not a bad way to make a living. Skybrick with $2 says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad is the Opester? I don't know. I haven't followed Opie's reaction to any of this stuff. I just feel like if you were part of a show that big, he can't be mad about Anthony coming back, can he? Is he? Is he really mad about Anthony being back on radio, or is this something you internet people want to happen, so you're pretending he is? Like, is Opie on his streams going, I don't give a shit if Anthony's back on the radio. Good for him. And you guys on the internet all go, well, no, I need him to be mad about it, so he's mad. He's definitely mad about it. Because there's a big difference between those two things. I can believe that Opie's being a about Anthony's return to radio. I have a jealous ex currently who can't stop. So I understand having a jealous ex. Nick is the Opie to my Anthony at this point. But I don't know. I haven't watched anything Opie said. Fill me in. Because, like, you guys were Opie and Anthony, right? You were a massive show. Let it be. That's a good, that was a good run you guys had. You've clearly got money. You've taken care of your money. You're doing well for yourself. You get to enjoy your retirement. So I hope Opie doesn't feel like he's losing in some way, shape, or form. You don't have to work. You don't have to work. You've got a beautiful family. You got property. You've got money. Hey, what's there to be mad about? You're mad that Anthony's got to work a couple hours a week extra? Come on. You had a great run. Be happy with the run you had. You know what would be great if you were magnanimous and you said, I'm happy for my old radio partner. I know there's been a lot of history, but it's water under the bridge. Good for him. Him making $150,000 a year doesn't take $150,000 a year out of my pocket. That would be a good response by Opie. To just tell Anthony, I'm proud of you, I'm happy for you, or I just don't give a shit and it doesn't matter, and best of luck to him. Let's check out the Opie radio clips. Anthony Cumia's AM radio comeback, big deal or nothing? All right, let's see how Opie handles it.
Oh, Anthony just got syndicated after one show. When are you getting syndicated? I don't compete with Anthony. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I made a decision a very long time ago when Anthony blew up the Opie and Anthony show because he's a terrible person. I didn't blow up the Opie and Anthony show. He did.
I mean, you tried to when it was on. I mean, that's not technically true. Like, Opie tried to. Like, we remember all the times he was like, I want to go to afternoons, and I'm not going to sign this next contract, and this, that, and the other thing. I'm an Opie and Anthony fan. Obviously influenced by them quite heavily. But Opie, look, you could tell that everyone was pretty sick of each other by the end.
If he could have tamped down his racist crap, which he will now do for WABC.
Look, if someone,
the one thing I know about,
if someone said, hey, Aaron, after all the shit you've been through on radio, we're going to let you back on. We're going to give you $150,000 a year. Could you just tone down the racism? I'd be like, aye, Captain, you got it.
About Anthony is that he plays to the room. Oh, you need me to tamp down my race stuff? No problem. I'll do that.
Okay. In defense of Anthony on this one, that's just called being a professional. If you're a professional, yes, you temper your act to the room you're in. And that's a skill. That's not a crutch. That's a skill. That's what any performer would do.
Oh, everyone's hating on Ope? No problem. I'll do that. Oh, people are praising Ope? No problem. I'll do that. He's a guy that always played to the room. And
sounds like you'd be a happier person doing something like that. You don't overcommit to shit. You don't get caught up in petty rivalries or anything like that. You just kind of go with the flow, it sounds like. So does he sound mad that Anthony got the radio gig? I don't know. He just kind of sounds annoyed by the question in general.
And when he blew up the Opie and Anthony show, I knew I would never see the guy again. I think he's a terrible person. You know,
you guys did play footsie for a little bit on Compound there. Come on. You guys, was it after Landau left? Whatever it was. You two played footsie for a little bit. You were calling in. Didn't he go into the Compound Media Studios with Keith? I thought he was there. He was doing video. He saw it when Gavin was there.
Bad people win all the time. So if he's now syndicated, God bless him, but it doesn't affect my life.
That's a good take.
I haven't seen the guy. I used to keep track, to be honest with you. I used to keep track. I literally haven't been in the same room.
You haven't seen him in over 10 years now. It'll be 11 years in July. God, I followed that show too fucking close. That's creepy that I just spit that out.
Was the guy. Haven't seen him in person.
You know why? Because I think Compound started in August of 2014, which is exactly when Steel Toe started. We started August 9th of 2014. So that's why I probably remember that.
In 11 years. So if you're happy for Anthony, you're a fan of Anthony, you're excited for his big return, you're excited that he's now having his 2-hour show syndicated, which is, that's not really a big deal because isn't it?
It's a huge deal. If you love radio, if you love doing radio, getting syndicated is the thing you want. It doesn't matter what time slot you're in. If you're syndicated, that's huge.
Isn't he being heard on an app and on the internet anyway through his ABC show? Whatever. There's no jealousy here because he's not in my life. I chose a long time ago to not have anything to do with the guy because I don't think he's a good person. I think he's.
I believe him when he says that. I do. I know internet people like to go, yeah, he's coping. He's in that. No, I believe him when he says that. I just think he's just a high-strung dude in general. Maybe switch to decaf. So, no, I think there's still some bitterness he could probably have addressed with a professional, but otherwise. Skybrick with $2 says, Ope expressed he regrets wasting his best years on O&A. You would have been out of the business if it wasn't for O&A. One thing, and I don't think Anthony's ever had a problem admitting this, Opie and Anthony, either of them wouldn't have done shit in radio without the other. It was serendipitous. It was fortuitous that the two of them got together and they started doing a show together. Neither of them would have put that together without the other. Opie would have bounced around. He would have been one of these career radio guys who either did drive time in a medium-sized market as part of some team, or he would have been an overnight guy in a big market doing lots of live events to make ends meet. But he met Anthony, and Anthony would have been a tin knocker and never would have thought to end up being an entertainer had he not met Opie. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So we have one more Opie clip. Let's see if he sounds any different.
Did you listen to
this is right after Opie or Anthony's big comeback show on ABC Radio.
Ant's show? Anne Hathaway fan? No, of course not. Why would I? Well, I guess guess if you work with someone for over 20 years and they're making their comeback to part-time AM radio in the middle of the night on a Sunday.
It's kind of, that's now I could forgive people if they said, oh, Opie's bitter, Opie's pissed, Opie's jealous, this and that. You kind of open the doors when you answer it like that.
You would think there'd be some interest there just to, take a peek, take a listen. I couldn't be bothered. No. How did he do? I would assume
It's fine. You don't have to be bothered.
I would assume he did well. I would assume he's playing to the ABC audience. I would assume that he tamped down his out-of-control race crap.
That's not like he's being some kind of big sellout. That's just real. It's realistic. That's what you do. And I don't know if he has to really play to a Trump-friendly conservative audience. He's a Trump-friendly conservative guy.
But no, I didn't listen. Let me know how he did, I guess. Anthony making his big comeback to AM radio. I mean, look, no offense to the guy who I do not like at all, but
let it go. Every time I hear him say that, a guy who I do not like at all, you really should nothing him at this point. Like everyone from my past that I've had, incidents with, I nothing them at this point. If they ever come up, they're content. Like hardly people at this point. They're just content. I don't hate them. If their life goes poorly, mine doesn't do better. So like after 11 years, keeping that energy, like being like, I hate the guy, I don't like the guy. You really should nothing the guy at this point.
He's doing 2 hours a week, WABC radio.
WABC radio,
8
everybody.
at night to 10, right? 8 to 10, I believe, was the shift. That's a nothing burger.
Hey, the kid's got to start somewhere. First of all, you give me $150,000 for a nothing burger, I'll chow it down.
But with that said, if they're putting him there to see how he does, test shows. We're thinking of giving you a full-time gig here, but let's start you, at a real shitty time on the weekends, just to see how it goes. And then if this leads to him maybe getting a real shift, then it starts getting impressive. But
I think it's impressive. Someone with Anthony's history and his media profile and the legal shit and all that, getting back on the radio, period, is pretty impressive. I don't care what you say. I mean, just having the gig in general is pretty impressive to get back. And it's good because I think it'll make him protect it more.